Good morning and welcome to this exciting time to talk business. My name is Blyden Lukema and it's Business 360 on Spectrum TV. In today's Business 360, we'll be looking at the outlines. We'll look at police investigation in Bulgaria and the artwork that has been discovered. We'll also x-ray the very best happening in the world of the forex market, the intensity of the stock market and the commodity market. Police investigating an international art smuggling scheme discovered a previously unknown work by famed abstract painter Jackson Pollock in Bulgaria, according to officials. Experts estimated the painting, which was signed by the late American artist, to be worth as much as $54 million, according to Bulgarian National Radio. Bulgarian officials believe the artwork is an original uncatalogued piece by the world-renowned painter from 1949. Pollock died 7 years later at 44 years old. No further details were provided about the painting. In quotes, "To our great joy, we managed to establish and keep this painting, and at the moment, the expertise shows that it is an original," said Peter Todorov, Bulgaria's chief secretary of the Ministry of Internal Affairs. In South Korea. South Korea police say that Do Kwon, the fugitive cryptocurrency boss behind the $40 billion collapse of the Terra USD and Luna tokens, has been arrested in Montenegro. He had been charged with fraud by prosecutors in the US. Earlier this year, US regulators accused Mr. Kwon and his company Terraform Labs of orchestrating a multi-billion-dollar crypto asset security fraud. South Korean authorities issued an arrest warrant for Mr. Kwon last September as they believed Terraform Labs had violated capital market rules. That's the outlook within that. The man has been found quite concerning from a crypto point of view. A company in Japan has introduced an afternoon nap system with a special area where employees can take turns to catch a short rest. The nap zone features special lightings, sounds and aromas that encourage naps, which the company hopes can make up for sleep deprivation common among employees and in turn improve overall work efficiency. Let's have a look at this report.
たまにこう15分から20分ちょっと横になって寝ますとね、こう体がすっきりして頭もすっきりして活力になりますので。
例えば寝不足でちょっとこう日中眠くなっちゃってなんかこうイライラしちゃったりするときはここに来て眠れなくてもいいのでこう一回目を閉じてこうゆっくり気持ちを休めることでそういうストレスとかからも解消されるかなと感じております。
What a way to work. Nap time during work hours, interesting features in the world of business. Well, let's talk about tech billionaire Jack Dorsey. Tech billionaire Jack Dorsey is facing scrutiny after a report accuses the payment company he leads of inflating user numbers and catering to criminals. The firm named Blocked rejected the claims, which sent its shares tumbling 15%. The report came from short seller Edinburgh Research, which is known for taking on high-profile targets such as Indian tycoon Gautam Adani. The company makes money by betting that shares will fall, and it's poised to benefit from the slides. Block, which former Twitter boss Mr. Dorsey co-founded in 2009 and leads as chief executive, said it was exploring legal action against Edinburgh for the factually inaccurate and misleading report. quite concerning. Hedenbach had gave a report about Adana Group at the time, and stocks fell, a nice that of the company block. International Labour Organization World Employment ILO and Social Outlook report for 2023 shows that 44% of Ugandan essential workers are underpaid. These workers are in crucial industries like health and security, yet they earn the lowest wages. 90 countries were sampled in the ILO report, of which Kenya had the most alarming salary statistics. According to the report, among the 90 countries sampled, Kenya has the highest percentage of underpaid key workers, 50%, while Portugal has the lowest, 5%. Within 44% of its key employees receiving inadequate pay, Uganda comes in at number 4. In Nigeria, Nigeria's Aviation Minister Hadi Sirika has hinted that a controversial national carrier, Nigeria A, will commence operation before the swearing-in of a new administration on 29th May. The minister disclosed this at the ongoing National Aviation Stakeholders Forum 2023 in Abuja on Thursday. Mr. Sirika said negotiation meetings with the Ethiopian Airline Group and its consortium and the federal government of Nigeria is ongoing. The minister emphasized that the benefits Nigeria stands to derive from the establishment of a national carrier include reduced capital flight from Nigeria, maximization of benefit of bilateral aviation safety agreement, BASA, and development of an aviation hub. Also, Mr. Sirika said, the national carrier will contribute to the country's GDP, facilitate hospitality and tourism, growth and create jobs around the agro-cargo terminals. The House of Representatives has asked the central bank to direct all commercial banks to overhaul their online banking service platforms to ease electronic banking operations. The resolution followed a motion moved by Segus Ogun of PDP Edo State on Thursday during plenary. Speaking on the banking system, Mr. Ogun said the online platforms have not been able to cope with the surge in transactions. Therefore, the Naira redesign policy has led to hardship and suffering because the banks are not coping. Still an outlook in Nigeria. The federal government, in partnership with Export Trade Group and Nigeria Agro Input Dealers Association on Thursday, unveiled disease-resistant hybrid maize and a seed to boost crop production as the planting season begins. Officials from the federal government's Institute of Agricultural Research, the trade group, as well as NIDA, unveiled the ETG M401 and ETG M601 hybrid maize varieties to farmers in Abuja, stating that the new seeds had the potential of delivering higher yields. The Executive Director, IAR, Professor Mohammed Isieku, said the institute was working with ETG and agro-input dealers to ensure that the seeds were used by farmers to produce early maturing maize with adequate nutrients and better yields. It would be a good time to move to global economy, identifying economic data around the world, beginning with Japan. The annual inflation rate in Japan fell to 3.3% in February 2023 from January's 41-year high. The outlook had been totally different. The outlook was 4.3% amid a slowdown in cost of transport and a drop in prices of electricity. Meanwhile, core consumer prices went up by 3.1% year-on-year, the lowest in 5 months, matching market forecast but above the Bank of Japan's 2% target for the 11th straight month. Let's have a look at a chart indicating Japan's inflation rates. Inflation rate in Japan has had its ups and downs. As of April 2022, inflation rate was at 2.5%. It slowed down a bit before getting to 2.6% in July 2022, an upward movement then at 3.7% at October 2022, and further went higher till it reached 4.3%, a 41-year high. In January, at 4.3%, it dropped afterwards to 3.3% in February, indicating an improvement after peaking at a 41-year high at 4.3% in January. Let's move to the commodity markets, beginning with the agricultural perspective. Soybeans prices extended losses to below $14.20 per bushel. The lowest in 4 months at the market is being flooded with freshly harvested record Brazilian crop, offsetting concerns over supplies from Argentina. Buenos Aires Grains Exchange maintained its 2022-2023 soybean production forecast at 25 million tons, following sharp cuts and warned of the possibility of further cuts as the crop continues to be battered by a prolonged drought. On top of that, investors welcomed the renewal of the deal allowing Black Sea exports of Ukrainian grains. It would be a good time to look at the agricultural market then. The outlook within the agricultural market begins with soybeans, moving up slightly this morning by 1 point, current price $1,420 per bushel, a 0.07% appreciation. For wheat, is $673 per bushel, upward by 11.79 points, a 1.78% appreciation. But lumber is downward by 20 points this morning, a negative 4.7% decline. Palm oil slightly upward by 5 points. Market is moving fast. And that's the outlook in the agricultural market. Let's have a view of the energy market then. What the crude are saying, crude oil, WTI crude and Brent crude oil. WTI crude current price is at $68.9 per barrel, downward by 0.953 points, a negative 1.41% decline. Market is moving quite fast. For Brent, which is Nigeria's price benchmark, is $75 per barrel, dropping by 0.7 points, a negative 0.97% decline. For natural gas, it's a little here, a little there, not quite volatile, 1.05% appreciation. Gasoline slightly downward, heating oil slightly downward, coal slightly gaining. For the metal market then, the metals this morning will show some indications talking about gold, silver and the rest. Let's have a look at the metal market. The opportunities in the metal market are quite different comparatively to what happened with the energy market. Gold price dropping by 4.08 points, a negative 0.2 percentage point. Current price $1,989 per ounce. For silver is $23 per ounce. Not really reasonably going up anywhere. For copper, current price is $4.1 per pound, dropping by 0.06. Market is moving swiftly, 0.0061 point, a negative 0.15% decline. Steel downward by 40 points, iron ore downward by 1.5 point. It's a good time to look at the forex market, beginning with forex commentary by Bill Barish, but the euro futures rallied to 7-week high before slightly pulling back after US jobs data beats expectations. Bill Barish explains more. Let's hear from Bill.
Underpinning the euro's strength against the US dollar is uncertainty for the US banking sector, the expectation of tighter credit markets and slower growth. Ultimately, this extrapolates to a less aggressive Federal Reserve in the coming months. In fact, the CME's Fed Watch tool has raised the probability of 75 basis points worth of rate cuts through year-end to be better than 50%. The euro is up marginally on the session, but off its best levels after the resilient U.S. job market had another stronger than expected initial jobless claims. The focus will shift to tomorrow's flash PMI data for March across the Eurozone throughout the morning before the U.S. read at 8:45 a.m. Central Time. We will be watching U.S. durable goods at 7:30 a.m. Central Time and be on the lookout for any fresh Fed speak on the heels of yesterday's Fed policy decision.
Thank you, Bill, for the outlook. Let's move to the market to see the price of euro against the US dollar and other pairs, the forex market. The market this morning has shown some outlook, downward perspective mostly. It's show of negativity for the euro against the US dollar. Current price is 1.07 a US dollar equaling 1 euro. It's downward by 0.049. Our market is moving quite fast. a negative 0.47 percentage decline. For the pound against the US dollar, it's also downward, and current price is 1.22445. It's downward by 0.041, a negative 0.33 percentage. For Aussie against US dollar, it's 0.66618 at the moment, downward by 0.0212, a 0.32 percentage drop this morning. Let's look at the Naira's perspective on what's happening with the Naira against the majors. The Naira against the major this morning has shown some negativity on one hand and some positivity on the other hand. The USD against the Naira. Current price 459.98 Naira equaling $1. As the market is, it struggled within this point for a long time. The euro against the Naira at the moment is 500 Naira equaling €1. Change is 0.75 points, gaining for the euro a 0.15 percentage appreciation. For the pound against the Naira, current price 566.79, a Naira equaling £1, upward by 2.7 points for the pound against the Naira. We'll also get to talk about Naira's performance in the parallel market. What the performance of Naira is in the parallel market. The black market exchange rates. We'll look at the buying rate and the selling rate. The dollar to Naira. At buying rate is 746 Naira equaling $1, and selling rate 735 Naira equaling $1. For pounds to Naira, buying rate is 915 Naira to £1, and selling rate 900 Naira to £1. For euro to Naira, it's 792 Naira to €1 at buying rate, and selling rate 770 Naira to €1. Well, on the other hand, we'll have to see crypto insights. Ether moves towards key resistance. Since putting in a multi-month low on March 9th, Ether has been trending higher. Cap bulls hold onto gains now that the Fed has increased rates. Let's have insights by Jim Lauriel.
Hiking cycle. This in turn pushed the dollar lower and presumably pushed dollar hedges higher. What's interesting about this move, though, is that both Bitcoin and Ether moved higher alongside some traditional safe haven assets like gold and silver, and of course U.S. Treasuries. Ironically, U.S. Treasuries were the very asset that seemed to be weighing down troubled banks' balance sheets. Perhaps the questions surrounding the path of Treasuries put an added tailwind into crypto. Now, a reminder that the CME Group now offers options on both micro Bitcoin and micro Ether futures. We're going to be using the micro futures for these examples. If a trader believes that Ether could rise from here, they could express that by buying the March micro Ether futures contract at 1810 and targeting a move up to the January of 2022 low of 2200. A stop for this trade could be placed below at 1590. Now, this trade could make $39 per one lot if the target is reached and risks $22 if you're stopped out of your level. If a trader believes that Ether...
That was James' perspective. Let's move to the market to see the perspective of the cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin, Ether, and the rest this morning in the market. The market this morning has shown huge decline for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies after attempting to hit the 30,000 mark, had crossed the $29,000 mark. Current price for Bitcoin $28,206 for one Bitcoin, dropping this morning by 127 points, a negative 0.45 percentage points. For Ether, current price $1,800. It's downward by 19.12 points, a negative 1.05 percentage decline. It's the same story for the rest of the cryptocurrencies. Binance downward, Cardano downward, Solana downward, Ripples downward, Bitcoin Cash and the rest are downward. Let's x-ray the attitude within the market, the stock market, the Nigerian stock market then. The Nigerian capital market closed trading with 29.92 trillion naira. The figure was 29.9 billion naira lower than the 29.927 trillion naira posted by the bourse on Wednesday. Similarly, the All-Share Index dipped by 12.03 basis points to close at 54,924.08 points. Investors traded 117.85 million shares worth 1.39 billion naira in 2,575 deals. Let's look at the top gainers. Sunu Assurance led the gainers list with a 9.09% rise in share price, moving from 44 kobo to 48 kobo per share. The bottom losers. NCR topped the losers table after shedding 26 kobo to drop from 2 naira 61 kobo to 2 naira 35 kobo per share. The top volume then. Transcorp led the day's trading with 23.39 million shares, worth or valued at 31.47 million naira. Let's have a quick look at the African stock market and afterwards the Nigerian stock market to see what the market is doing this morning. The African stocks. While we're waiting for that, we're going to talk more about it when we return next week. This is where we draw the curtain on Business 360. My name is Blyden Kim. Thank you for watching.